Do you enjoy learning new scrapbook techniques? Hello everyone, MISSCARRIE here. Today I'm going to share a few of my favorite scrapbook tips and show you how to use them on your next scrapbook layout. Each month, HipKit creates a color kit with mixed media elements like inks, shimmers, stencils, and stamps. This month's color kit has an awesome selection of Distress Crayons and a wave stencil. I'll be sharing a fun way to use these on my project. HipKit dies are always my favorite, and these are two I've already shared. The fringe border and stitch border added some awesome texture to my last layout, so I'll be using one of these again. I also shared how these palm trees have some wonderful etched details. I made some cards with these images and I'll use them again today. As I create my layout, I'll bring in a few additional items from the July HipKit collection. As always, I encourage you to use what you already have, but if you'd like a detailed list of the items I'm using, links to each one can be found in the description below, along with a discount code for monthly kits. I'm going to start with the mixed media portion of the project because this is going to need a little time to dry. In my previous video, I shared a few ways to use Distress Crayons. Today, I'm going to use them like watercolor paint. On my desk, I have some smooth watercolor paper. I'm going to create some pools of color with the Distress Crayons, so I'm scribbling just a little bit of the medium onto a silicone mat. I'm sorry that it's difficult to see on this black surface. My white mat is currently packed away as I make some major changes to my craft room. Once I spritz a little water on here and swish the color on the paper, you'll be able to see how vibrant these are. I'm going to be starting with peacock feathers and mermaid lagoon as my base colors. I have spritzed that watercolor paper with water to make it easier to blend these over the paper. I'm just going to brush these two colors across the paper and blend them together. This paper is going to be used to create some leaves, and I want some of the blue to show through the green layer I'm going to add on top. Mixed media is something that I'm slowly learning, and at a retreat, the instructor shared how important base layers are. These help to build up the design, add some color variation, and allow you to bring in colors that you want to add to your project. Now that my blues have been added, I'm going to bring in Twisted Citron, which is a bright green color. I'll mix this with the blue to create some different hues and brush it over the white areas to create some vivid color for the leaves. Distress crayons are a thicker medium and there are some little flecks of pigment on my paper here. I can mix these in with some water or leave them as is. Once I set this with a heat tool, I don't have to worry about them smearing. The last color I want to add is mustard yellow. I'm using a fan brush to flick this over the blue and green colors. In the class, I also learned that adding a lighter color on top brings in flecks of light and adds some texture. Now that all my colors have been added, I'm going to set these with a heat tool and I'll cut them out with those palm tree dies. I have an adorable picture of our grand kitten, and I've backed it in Immerse blue cardstock. Before I put this in place, I'm going to create a background using the stitched border die. I cut out some paper strips from the blue side of the sunset pattern, and I'm going to stagger them onto this 11-inch piece of white cardstock. These are a little longer than I need. They would be perfect for a full-size page, but since I trimmed mine down, I need to cut these as well. I'm just going to use a pair of scissors to trim these up, and then I'll adhere them in place with some liquid adhesive. You may have noticed that I've already brought in quite a bit of blue to the page. blue Distress Crayons, blue cardstock, and now blue pattern paper. When I select colors for my project, I choose ones that will bring focus to the photo and help tell the story. Jack Jack is a beautiful orange color, and in the photo, he's sitting next to green plants. If I were to bring in a large amount of green, your eyes would more than likely see those plants first. I could have selected a mix of orange elements, but orange is often used to show excitement and energy. This photo has a relaxing vibe, and blue is a better color for that. Blue is also a complementary color to orange, and it's really going to bring out Jack in the photo. All right, so now that you've got a little color theory lesson, let's keep on moving with the project. I've laid my photo in place, and now I'm going to bring in those little palm leaves that I cut from that Distress Crayon background. How fun are these? Can you see all the layers of color in there? To bring a jungle theme to this page, I'm going to create some little plants on the border strips. These are going to be staggered across the page. I'll be adding stitching to the border strips once I'm done, so I'm leaving plenty of space for that. If you want to fill this in more, you could add some of the individual leaves or the small palm tree tops. I'm going to bring some layers to my page by placing these smaller tree toppers over the larger ones. As I finish adding these to my page, I would love it if you took a moment to let me know that you're enjoying today's video by tapping the thumbs up icon or leaving a comment below. If you're one who would like more ideas for using hip kits, take a moment to tap that subscribe button too. All right, my plants are all in place and I love how this looks. I'm going to bring in a few embellishments. I don't need much, just enough to frame that photo. The perch he's sitting on is a bit distracting, so I'm going to cover it with this sticker here from the main kit. I'm also going to pop this yellow sticker up here, and I'm going to add this other one right here over that yellow circle. This says Lazy Hazy Days. Over the top of this flower, I'm going to add a chipboard flare that says Serious Chillin', because that's what cats often do. Now I'm just going to finish up that frame with a few leaves and flowers. I've grabbed the vellum pieces from the embellishment kit and some of the flower stickers from the main kit. I'm going to stick to the colors yellow, soft pink, blue, and orange. I have some vellum leaves in yellow and a few blue flowers. I'm going to cut this flower in half here and use it as leaves because I want to bring some more of that pink from the label that I placed at the base of the page up here near the top of the photo. I don't want to add many of the printed sticker flowers, so I'm just going to cut them apart and place them randomly within the vellum layers. I am being selective about the colors because I want to make sure that I maintain balance around that photo frame. Now that these are all in place, you can see how it really makes that photo pop, and it helps Jack stand out within all of those leaf elements. The last step is to pick a background frame. I'm going to pull out a few of the pattern papers from the main kit so that I can show you how the color you select will change the focus of the page. This first one is pink with palm trees, and it does match some elements on the page, but that pattern is a bit too busy. I like that these ombre strips bring focus to the photo, but I feel like the contrast is too much with the vertical stripes I added to the background. I often match my photo frames with my page frames, so I'm going to bring in a few blues. This one here is really nice, but I feel like it makes my eyes go directly to the background strips. I do like this one that's a little bit darker. I might use that one, so I'm going to set it to the side. I have this really dark blue here, and I like how it brings your eye to the frame, but I think the diagonal stripes are a bit much for this layout. I'm going to go ahead and try a yellow, and then I'm going to bring in one more orange. Now I like how this yellow gives this page a summer feel. A yellow evokes happiness, and Jack seems rather content here. This darker orange is really nice, and I like how the pattern is a bit more solid. What do you think? I'm going to go ahead and try these out off camera once again, and then I'll show you what I selected for the page. After trying out a few of the patterns and taking some photos, I like the look of the orange. I think it brings out the photo and frames the page well. I also added Jack's name to this sticker here using some puffy letters. These are great for small titles, and they come in a variety of colors on the HipKit site. Today I shared a few of my favorite scrapbooking tips, like how to use distress crayons, how to choose colors for your page, and simple ways to create floral layers. I also shared some unique ways to use dies that you might already have in your collection. I hope that you give a few of these techniques a try on your next project. If you're one who enjoys pinning photos to inspiration boards, I've added still shots of this layout to my social media posts, my website, and to the HipKit Facebook group for you to use. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope this project inspired you to try something new. If you have any questions about the project or the supplies I used, feel free to post those in the comments below. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see what you create.